FM.
Okay, so thank you all for coming today. So let's start with John. You've been coached for over 10 years. You don't look it, but you have been. Most recently, I coached in power rugby and now athletics.
Yep.
You are sometimes a coach for power sailing, and you sports science, and there's a coach for championship footy as well.
Yeah.
So guys are getting involved with these two guys next to you.
Yeah. Well, in a previous life, I worked more professionally in sports science and S&C, as you've said. And then when I came back and worked as a lecturer, I also wanted to keep coaching up because I love it. And athletics seems like the closest thing to my background of strength conditioning. So I wanted to get more involved. And then I started volunteering and started helping at Southampton Athletics Club, which these two also compete for. And learn more about it, and then just decided that, okay, I might be able to help the athletics club here a bit more. So just been gradually trying to keep supporting the club that already exists and keep helping to shape it. So I'm more supporting than leading anything, which helps for me.
And so when did you start? When they came? Or
So both of these two, you were already competing when I started helping out, but it was COVID year. So basically since COVID, really. And Ciara, you were first year last year?
Yeah.
So Ciara only knows me getting involved and helping, but
Yeah.
Jack knows the year before. So
Jack, move on to you now. A little bit. So you're 400 meter one, and now 200 meter one as well.
Yeah.
Your most recent achievement, you said, would be the third in the under 20 500 meters, and fourth in indoor and outdoor 400 meters, but under 17. So still relatively quite young. And your Southampton AC and British Athletics League committee backs now.
Yeah.
So when did you come to Solent?
So I started in British Testimony. I'm in my third year now, so
Okay,
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So during COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. First year was COVID.
Yeah. And presumably you joined the athletics team straight when you came in.
Yeah. The team wasn't as big as it was in my second year. So really joined the athletics team in the second year. Because first year was in COVID, it was a bit hit and miss, but yeah. So strength started doing.
I'm sure course.
I do sports therapy.
Okay, so you've got John as a lecturer.
I always know because he's on coaching.
So you're lucky. Okay, as a lecturer. So
Yeah.
quite fun lecture actually, wasn't it?
I wouldn't like to blow my own horn, but I don't take it that seriously. So yeah, I'd hope a bit more laid back.
Yeah. Well, you're doing practical, not theory. So
This is true. This is true.
So yeah. And then we're going to is it true that you're doing BSc sports on exercise therapy?
Therapy, yeah, same as Jack, just similar.
Yeah, and you did your local athletics from 2014 onwards.
Yeah.
It sounded quite young.
Yeah, pretty much. Since I came out of like primary school, really, and I was beating all the boys in sports day, and then Dad thought, yeah, chuck me into athletics.
And with both of you, during the athletics sports for athletics came the main sport.
So I used to play football as well as athletics. But when I got to about 14 years old, I decided that athletics, I want to put all my focus into that. So that's when I dropped the football.
And then you passed.
I did sort of bits and bobs throughout school, but athletics has been my main focus pretty much throughout.
Yeah, and you both get spotted to go up to the sort of like underage balls before coming to uni. Well, with uni, you're a springboard to where you are now.
So I competed in the age group championships before uni, so the under 17 age groups, and that helped me to get part of the HBA program here. And since then, they've gone alongside each other and worked well with each other.
Yeah, similar really, although I haven't quite managed to get into the HPA scheme, but they've given me some benefits to kind of support me and help me try and improve a bit more whilst I'm at uni, she's saying.
Yeah, because the last year the HPA has actually improved and got all of the sports teams to be able to train together and all that. Because before, as you know, they were just individual
Yeah.
issues that all of the teams. Some of these short limits, even if in both.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And I'll include John a little bit after this. So soon not feeling a bit lonely over there. But so with secondary school, you know, when you get your school needs to be more seriously in that. How did you manage schoolwork and your
Well, to be honest, at secondary school, I took it with a bit of pinch of salt. Just started and put all my focus into sport. When I went into college, that was when I started focusing on my academics as well. But I've always been quite lucky, and they always seem to work out. I've never had to put too much focus into them, so it's just worked well for me.
Yeah, again, similar. During school, there wasn't much. Well, there was some focus needed, but not too much focus needed in the academic side of things, like when we were away from school. So you can end up your spare time to focus it on. Yeah.
and John, obviously you're not still at school. You've been that's easy to go. But so obviously they're doing sport courses. Just to help them in any way, just purely sports side, because I know your fellow course staff are there, let's listen.
Yeah, so I mean, I suppose in some ways it's more just helping with the generic university side. So Ciara's coming up to dissertation time, and it's kind of like, you know, we can sort of talk through dissertation ideas, even though I wouldn't necessarily be involved. Like Jack's dissertation supervisor, so it's kind of giving him a chance to work on something in athletics, which means I have a bit of background knowledge there that can kind of help. So I try and help where I can in sort of more like support rather than anything focused on their course. But there's a few other in the athletics club who do sports science, which I still teach on. There are a few who do sport coaching, which I still teach on, obviously. So it tends to blur the lines a little bit sometimes, but I try and just give support.
Of course, feel good like that.
If you say so.
Yeah, I try to pick it up here. So.
Oh, okay, I'll do that. I'll take it.
And with your uni degrees now, in 15 plus already much as well.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming you go with them to Butch. Yeah. And so how does it work then? I mean, obviously, I know you've got your twits, so I'm assuming it's on days that you're not at uni, or how do you manage things?
Yeah, so the Bucks competition that's coming up in April is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So it works all right. So it doesn't really clash with lessons, which is quite good. But
Probably that way.
yeah. So
We got one same day as your diss handling, don't we?
yeah.
So it can clash a little bit sometimes with deadlines and assessments, but usually athletics is on the weekends, which makes life a little bit easier.
Oh, I see.
But the training for it's been a bit hard. So I think both of these guys have to work quite hard to sit around their timetables, and where athletics is quite focused on physical ability, you know, it doesn't matter how much technique you have, if it's not there physically, it's very tough. So these guys have both been working very hard to keep their training up alongside, and even some weeks before Christmas, they were doing up to like 10, 11 sessions a week, which is pretty hard. And now we're backed away from that a little bit, but it's now the assessments are going up. So the job they've got to keep their assessments balanced and keep their training hard is they're doing a good job, but it's not an easy one.
No, it's not easy at all, is it? And so when do you train? Do you train morning, noon, just before lessons?
Varies really. Most of the time in the afternoon, evening type sessions, especially with Southampton Athletics Club as well. It's the evening sessions. But we also have quite early morning gym sessions on a Monday morning as well, which is always a bit of a struggle to get into.
Yeah.
So on the same, so Tuesday, Thursday evenings at the track, Saturday mornings, and then I get in the gym. I don't go to the Monday morning ones. I do Monday evenings, Thursday afternoons, or Friday afternoon. So,
But it's the concept. It's something. The background when you finish with union and was what on spent.
yeah, exactly.
So it's a local the athletics club.
Yeah, so it's at the Outdoor Sports Centre,
Oh.
and both Jack and Ciara train with John Till in one of the endurance groups who's like had to work quite closely to manage the Bucks timetable and their athletics timetable, balance their training out. So Southampton Athletics Club and John Till in particular, we work quite closely, and it's a good working partnership to help support these two moving forwards.
Yeah. And when it comes to actual competitions, it's weekends, so it's not too they can't do other things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's quite nice that it's on the weekends as well, because you know that it's not gonna clash too badly with, like John said, assessment. But if they don't just be kind of feel like all this stress into a big competition, and then you got to go straight back to lessons on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, and the athletics timetable this season was just not usually.
So we've already competed once for Bucks. So we competed in January or start of February for Bucks Indoor Nationals. So the indoor season's very early. Our first competition was second week in January. And now the summer season is kind of starting, and we're doing a few practice events. We've just been to Bournemouth. We've got Winchester on Sunday. And then the Bucks Championships is kind of our next main one. But for these two, Bucks is kind of the start of their summer season. And then they both got aiming for under 23 nationals in June. So
Yeah.
Bucks is kind of a bit of a warm up, and then the plan is to go and compete there.
Yeah. Do the winter one as well, or was it just purely summer?
So in the winter, you have the indoor.
Oh, I thought it's outdoor and then
Yeah.
indoor classing. So it's only an
Outdoor in the science.
planet. No stops. And yeah, and then with it's very few Jack and then do as a team. But they must help. Absolutely beneficial for you as athletes.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was really beneficial working with Kenny and Rob and the team up there, helping me with training. Kenny helps me managing
Of
my
course.
academic side, lifestyle factors.
Yeah.
It all helps, and it's been really beneficial since starting the year.
Yeah. And being part of a team sport for you, it must help create with the training side of things.
Yeah, I think it definitely does, because for a lot of athletics, it's mostly on your own individual sort of thing, and coming to you and having a team of athletes, it's quite a nice support group. When you're going to competitions, everyone's cheering each other on. It's a nice feeling rather than going just by yourself.
And I'm assuming you're there only around up until they leave.
Yeah.
And then after they leave, you'll have someone else. I'm assuming you're not going to be as involved.
That's a good question. I think at the minute these guys can't. They see too much of me almost. They're when they turn up on that Monday morning, they're not that happy to see me. So yeah, we do a lot of training. I try my best to get involved in as much of it as we can, just to keep it shaped and keep it moving. This year we also have had a bit of luck because we found some team sponsorship, so they've been keen enough to provide us with kit. As you can see, these guys wearing lovely, and they've provided our track kit for the competition. So that's been quite helpful as well, just having a bit more of that team culture. But once everyone's finished, it's kind of, if they're done with me coaching them, I'm happy to leave it to it. But there's also been plenty of people who have asked for continued support, and they keep asking questions. So I think I think one of the big things at Solent is that the alumni presence is just as big as the current students. And I think that having Ciara back, having Jack back, having people involved, like today, we had a previous club captain come in and use the gym with us. So, it's always open to that kind of conversation. I think it's keen to keep supporting people. And once you've been a Solent once, you're a Solent family for a while. So, it's always open to people who've competed to keep going.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, "Oh, look again."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sure you're like that with me anyway. So.
Only when I get you guys.
Yeah. I remember at one point you were just walking home and I was just going in the same direction and you were holding a massive TV.
Yeah, it was carrying a table for my kid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite an awkward.
Yeah, you kept me going on that walk. It was a tough one to carry. That it wasn't that fun, but no, you know what I'm like. I'm always around. I'm always doing
Yeah.
bits. So whenever these guys need support, that's where I am.
And you've just recently competed in the under 23s British Championship.
Yeah, that's what they're training for.
Oh, training.
They both.
Oh, but can I come with one then?
Yes, but they both competed at Bucks indoors,
Yeah.
and I think the results there were really good. So Jack set the new indoor 400-meter record for the university at Bucks, and Ciara set the new women's indoor 400-meter record as well. So they both hold indoor and outdoor records at the minute, which is really good. And it's just proof that their training's paying off and all the hard work they're putting in, around their schoolwork and stuff. It's paying off and it's showing results on the track, which is more for them, I think, than anything else. I mean, for me, it's just great to have them training and see them compete and enjoy it more than anything. But for them to be getting the results, it's just proof that all that hard work they put in and balancing assessments and dissertations and lectures. I just program a session. You actually have to do it, which is very, very different. So, that's true. I'll put that one out. Last week with the big heavy rain and wind, we ended up all getting wet socks, which was pretty horrible. So it's all good. But it's nice to see them get those results and earn those accolades at big events. That means that it's proof that they're not just fast for what they can do, they're fast for what Solent's had in the past, which is really nice to be able to celebrate.
Yeah, and for you two to be going to this event must be a big feeling. Get ready for.
Yeah, definitely. It's exciting just to see what we can do. To be honest, got target times from training. To go there and see what we can do.
Definitely quite a nerve-wracking thing as well. Well, it's the biggest competition that I'll be training for anyway, so it feels like a important, scary watch.
Yeah. And is it a thing for you to go out and beat your personal best to beat the record you've already got at the moment? Is it try and better that, or is it just see what time we get? And it's not be a bit disappointing you afterwards.
This one's the English national champs, so you're always trying to beat your personal best, but this one we want to get a good position. We want to try get to the final, get known basically. So just big face up there, but yeah, you're always trying to beat your personal best.
Yeah, same as what Jack said. I think there's no better feeling than beating a personal best. So I'm always looking to try and.
Everything Jack says, you just like, yeah. Same. Definitely.
That's it, dream.
Yeah.
Like-minded.
Yeah. And so for the future, obviously you're still quite young, Jon's.
Not so much.
No, thank you for saying that. I was going to say that. No, but your future is still in athletics. I'm assuming you still want to go as far as you can, maybe Olympics in the next few years. Well, definitely not next year, be milk if you do, but actually maybe.
Maybe, who knows? Just got to keep working hard, see if we can keep a relationship with Solent when we're not at uni, and just keep working in the gym, on the track, just keep consistent and injury free. That's the main target.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's no harm in aiming high.
Yeah. And with your courses, when you do eventually retire from the sport or whatever it is in the future, your courses that you're doing, would you be hoping to continue in athletics being your sort of faculty that you're doing in your degree at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. There could be some crossover, like in therapy, you're dealing with injured athletes, so you could always get people who do athletics and dealing with injuries, working with them, having background knowledge of athletics would always help. Yeah.
I'd definitely like to do something within the athletics community, like maybe being the sports therapist at big competitions would be like a dream.
And you're already volunteering for a few as well.
Yeah, I volunteered at bits and bobs. London Marathon last year. I did some massage and stuff, which was some good experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh good. And when is the British Championships? When is it?
So British Championships is middle of June, and then we've got our Bucks warm-up event.
Oh, brilliant. This will be out
Yeah.
by before June. So,
Excellent.
brilliant. So, well, thank you all for coming and good luck for June.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Voice. Let's go. Voice FM.